Hey everyone, Shadowwraith back again, this time with a Stasis Hunter build for high-level activities like GMs and Master. Honestly, it's been a little bit tough for me to get on board with the Stasis Hunter because the Void Hunter is so good with invisibility when you're going in high-level content, but this build I'm actually excited with. So we're going to jump into some footage from a Master Lost Sector Vele's Labyrinth, and then we're going to be running Anarchy for the damage, and then you can see we have Duskfield Nade, and that will trap barrier champions in it, and then they will pop their barrier but then freeze right afterwards, so their barrier actually doesn't stay up, so that can take care of them. And then we've got an unstoppable pulse rifle to deal with the unstoppable champions, and it will also work really well with the artifact mod Sundering Glare, where if we get rapid precision hits from farther away, we'll get a 20% damage debuff. So this is similar to having a hunter tether. And then our melee ability, when we throw two of them, will also freeze champions to give us a easier shot. Then we can pop the barrier with Ikelos Sniper. And when you're holding Ikelos Sniper, kills with Anarchy count as 7 Seraph weapon kills, so they will spawn warmind cells as well. And jumping in, you'll see that happen once more. You stick with Anarchy, and then you just hold the sniper rifle, and kills with Anarchy create the warmind cell. And these warmind cells are great for ad clearance, even in high-level content. So this is a master, you can just see how much it took out. And then the exotic we're running is going to be Mask of Bacchus. So here, when we dodge, it will give us Light Shift, which gives us an increase in arc damage and damage to combatants that are affected by stasis. And then we're also running the artifact mod Resonance Siphon. So whenever we stop or disrupt or break the barrier of a champion, it'll give us about 30% of our ability energy back. So there you can see I had just used my dodge, and then I stopped 2 champions, and boom, I have my dodge back. So overall, this is a fantastic build. I really enjoyed it, and you can see it's effective because I'm under level going into this Master Lost Sector, and it takes me less than 3 minutes to clear it out. And if you're running with a fire team, this also works really well with a Well of Radiance Warlock running Focusing Lens, because your stasis abilities will grant another 25% damage buff while you're sitting in a well. So if that looks interesting, let's jump into Subclass. We're obviously running Relevance with Silence the Squall Super. I have Gambler's Dodge because I like getting my melee back when I dodge, but you could run either. I'm using Triple Jump. You can use whichever jump you prefer. And then Withering Blade is the only melee option, good in low level or high level. And then we're running Duskfield Grenade because it gives you a lot more control of champions and ads in a lot of circumstances, and it gives you multiple freezes for some of the aspects. You could use Glacier Grenade if you prefer, but then you'd want to change some of the aspects and fragments that I'm running. So highly recommend Duskfield Grenade. I'm running Winter's Shroud. Dodging near enemies slows them down. And then Grim Harvest. Defeating slowed or frozen combatants creates stasis shards, and those shards give us melee energy back. And then you can swap these around. If you're running Glacier Grenade, you could switch to something like Shatter Dive. But for Fragments, we're running Whisper of Refraction. Defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy. And then Whisper of Hedrons, gain bonus weapon damage after freezing a target with stasis. This works really well with Duskfield Grenades against champions. You'll have that buff going almost all the time. And then Whisper of Durance, slows from your abilities last longer, which gives us more time to get our class ability energy back by killing them. Other alternatives, Whisper of Impetus, if you want that, or Whisper of Torment. Jumping now over to weapons, there are 2 main options that I want to cover. The first is going to be using a unstoppable pulse rifle. In this case, we're running a Hailing Confusion with Demolitionist to get our grenade back faster, and then Surplus just for the reload speed and stability, but you can use whatever perk you want. And then I have a minor spec to deal with ads better. And then in our special slot, as I mentioned, we're running Ikelos Sniper, and this one I've got high impact reserves with 4th times the charm, so I can just dump shots into a champion, and every 4 shots I'll get 2 more back. And then I have Seraph rounds here. Flared Magwell is fine too. And then I'm running Major Spec for extra champion damage. If you already have someone else running Anti-Barrier Sniper, another option for this specific build, you could swap out your Kinetic for like a 7 Seraph Officer Revolver, so you'll still get the Warmind cells and ability to stop champions. And then here, you would run Truthteller with Blinding Grenades and Autoloading Holster and Demolitionist. Blinding Grenades are phenomenal in high-level activities, especially things like GMs, because you can blind half a room and then take your time killing the ads instead of getting surrounded, in which case you would pretty much instantly die. So if the rest of your fire team has anti-barrier covered and you don't need the sniper rifle, definitely check out using Blinding Grenades. Then in our heavy slot, we're using Anarchy. This is by far one of the most adaptable and usable weapons in the game. You can get it solo now. You don't have to sign up for an LFG to do raids. There are a bunch of guides on YouTube on how to get this solo. Highly recommend picking this up. It's great for high level content. And then jumping back into weapons, if you don't want to use Hailing Confusion in your kinetic slot, there are plenty of other options. For Unstoppable, you could use a different hand cannon or whatever your favorite pulse rifle is. And if you're running into overload champs, I would recommend running a bow here because it's a lot more consistent than an SMG. In your secondary slot, there's the Adored Sniper, Frozen Orbit Sniper, Far Future Sniper, or even Salvager Salvo Grenade Launcher. So you've got a lot of options there as well. And then heavy, there's really no good replacement for Anarchy, to be honest. If you don't have it, Shining Sphere, you could use a rocket launcher, Tarantula, linear fusion rifle, sword. I don't know that I'd recommend using a sword with this build in a GM, but those are some options. As far as artifact is concerned, we're going to be running Sundering Glare, so rapid precision hits against distant combatants weaken them for a short duration. This is great. It's almost the equivalent of having a Hunter Tether. And then Resonant Siphon gains stasis ability energy whenever you or a member of your fire team stuns a champion. This is great. Again, like I said, it's about 30% of your ability back. Then we have Anti-Barrier Sniper Rifle, Scavenger, and then either Unstoppable Hand Cannon, Unstoppable Pulse, or Overload Bow, whichever you're running at the time. All right, now jumping over to our armor mods, we're going to be running the exotic Mask of Bacchus because of the ability. It replaces your Stasis subclass dodge with a longer range, faster moving shift that partially cloaks you. And this is great for getting back under cover or getting out of a tight situation. And then it also increases your arc weapon damage and damage you deal to slowed or frozen combatants. So this pairs really nicely with your melee ability, which slows stuff, and the Duskfield grenade, which can freeze stuff. And then on top of that, we have Taking Charge, become charged with light by picking up orbs of power. If you're not picking up a ton of orbs of power, you could swap this out for something like Charge Harvester, and then you'd just be able to get kills from standing farther back and get charged with light that way. And then Grenade Launcher Ammo Finder and a Discipline mod for quicker grenade regen. If you don't have Mask of Bacchus, you could use something like Wormhusk Crown or Sixth Coyote or whatever other exotic you prefer, but highly recommend picking up this. On our arms, we're going to be running Protective Light. When charged with light and your shields get broken, you get significant damage resistance. This is huge. One of my favorite mods in the game. Helps with survivability a lot in high level content. And then we've got Unstoppable Pulse Rifle, Anti-Barrier Sniper Rifle, and a Strength mod. Jumping to our chest piece, we're going to be running Powerful Friends, mainly for the 20 mobility, but also when you become charged with light, nearby allies also become charged with light if they're not already. That's great. If you don't have this one, no big deal. You can use a Elemental Well mod from this season. I'm mainly just using this for the 20 mobility. And then we also have a Concussive Dampener, a Sniper Damage Resist, and another Discipline mod. And then jumping to our boots, we're going to be running Radiant Light. Again, this one is mainly for the 20 strength, but when we cast our super, nearby allies become charged with light as well. Again, no worries if you don't have this. You could just use one of the Elemental Well mods from this season. And then we've got Sniper Rifle Scavenger, Grenade Launcher Scavenger, and a mobility mod to increase the recharge rate of our dodge. And then lastly, on our bond, we're going to be running Global Reach. This is great for the Warmind Cell distance. If you don't have Global Reach, you can run any other Warmind Cell mod. The main thing is just being able to get them to spawn. Then we have Resonant Siphon, gains stasis ability energy when you stun a champ, and Sundering Glare for the rapid precision hits to get you a debuff, and then a mobility mod as well. As always, I know I threw a lot of information at you in a short amount of time, so let's jump into a Lost Sector and do a quick build recap. We have a melee ability that will jump between enemies and slow and freeze them, and killing those enemies will drop stasis shards, which will give you more melee energy back. We've got a dodge that will shift you. It's great for getting out of sticky situations or back behind cover. You've got Anarchy that will give you sustained damage over time. And then you have the Ikelos Sniper Rifle, where kills with Anarchy while you're holding the Sniper Rifle will spawn Warmind cells, and then killing those Warmind cells will clear out entire rooms of ads. And then you have Protective Light, which will keep you alive in clutch situations. Then you also have the anti-champion mods, and you'll regain ability energy anytime you stun a champion. And on rapid long-range precision hits, you'll get a 20% debuff for your entire fire team. So hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and catch y'all next time.